Have you ever really stopped to think about it? What's actually happening when you bite into a piece of rich dark chocolate, or how your brain makes sense of a super spicy bowl of noodles? It feels so automatic, right? But behind every single bite, there's this incredible scientific symphony going on. So, how does your tongue really work? Let's get into it.
Okay, so right off the bat, we've got to clear something up. That word we all use every day, taste, isn't really the whole picture. The real star of the show, the thing we're all chasing when we eat something delicious, is a much bigger, way more complex concept, flavor.
So think about it like this. Taste is just the basic information your tongue picks up, those 5 simple chemical signals. But flavor? Oh, flavor is the whole experience. It's the taste, yeah, but it's also the smell, the texture, is it crunchy or creamy, and even the temperature. Taste is just one note. Flavor is the entire song.
All right, so if the tongue is handling the taste part of this equation, what's the actual tech that's doing all the heavy lifting? Well, it's time to meet the microscopic heroes of this story, your taste buds.
A single taste bud isn't just one thing. It's more like a little bundle, kind of like a tiny head of garlic. Each one is packed with anywhere from 50 to 100 of these super specialized cells, all just waiting to detect the chemicals in your food.
And we're not talking about just a few of these. The average adult is walking around with somewhere between 5 and 10,000 taste buds. That is a massive amount of data collecting power packed right there in your mouth.
And here's something wild. These little guys are constantly regenerating. They work their tails off for about 10 to 14 days, and then new ones pop up to take their place. This, by the way, is exactly why your sense of taste comes back so fast after you burn your tongue on hot soup. Pretty cool, huh?
Okay, so this probably takes you back to elementary school science class. We all learned about the tongue map, didn't we? You know, sweet is at the tip, bitter is at the back, salty is on the sides. But is that really how it works?
Well, get ready for this. That tongue map you memorized in school, it is completely, 100% a myth. It's totally wrong. The whole idea came from a mistranslation of a German research paper from over a century ago that just kind of stuck around in textbooks for way too long.
The reality is actually way more interesting. Yeah, most of your taste buds are on your tongue, but you also have them on the roof of your mouth, way in the back of your throat, and if you're a kid, even on the inside of your cheeks. And here's the real kicker. Every single one of those thousands of taste buds can detect all 5 of the basic tastes. There are no specialized zones.
Okay, so we've got the hardware and we know it's all over the place. So now let's follow the incredible journey of a single bite of food and see how a simple chemical becomes a perception of delicious inside your brain.
It all starts with your saliva. The moment food enters your mouth, your spit goes to work, dissolving it down into tiny chemical molecules. These molecules then wash into your taste buds, where they're picked up by those receptor cells. Each cell then fires off a tiny electrical signal that zips straight to the brain. And that's where the magic happens. Your brain interprets that signal as sweet, or salty, or sour.
So what is this language that the tongue is speaking to the brain? Well, you can think of it as a kind of survival code. It's built on 5 fundamental tastes, and every single one evolved for a very specific and very important reason, to keep our ancestors alive.
And this chart lays it out perfectly. Sweetness signals energy-rich foods, basically telling our brain, hey, this is good fuel. Salty points us toward minerals we absolutely need to function. Umami, that savory flavor you get from meat or mushrooms, tells us we found a source of protein. And then there are the warning signals. Sour can mean something's not ripe yet, or maybe it's spoiled. And bitter, that's our body's big red alarm for warning. This might be poison. It's a survival guide written on our tongues.
But even with this amazing system, we are still missing the single biggest piece of the flavor puzzle. We've talked a lot about taste, but what about that rich, complex experience of flavor? Well, it turns out the secret ingredient isn't on your tongue at all.
Get ready for this. A staggering 70 to 80% of what we call flavor actually comes directly from our sense of smell. Let that sink in. Most of what you think you're tasting, you're actually smelling.
The way this works is through something called retronasal smell. It sounds fancy, but it's pretty simple. As you chew your food, you release all these aroma molecules. Instead of going out your mouth, they travel up the back of your throat and into your nasal cavity from the inside. Your brain then brilliantly combines these powerful aroma signals with the basic taste signals from your tongue to create what we know and love as flavor.
And this right here is the big aha moment. This is exactly why, when your nose is all stuffed up from a cold,
Food suddenly tastes so bland and boring. Your taste buds are working just fine. They're sending those sweet or salty signals, but your brain isn't getting any of that crucial smell information to build the full picture. You're missing most of the story.
In fact, you can prove this to yourself with a really simple experiment. Next time you have a piece of fruit, try this. First, taste it normally. Then pinch your nose shut, and I mean really pinch it, and taste it again. You'll notice the basic taste is there, sweet or sour, but the actual flavor of it is almost gone. The magic happens when you let go of your nose. Whoosh, all that flavor comes rushing back.
So, we've seen how taste and smell are this incredible team that creates flavor, but this leads us to one final fascinating question. Why do I love a certain food that you can't stand? Well, that brings us to your unique, personal flavor world.
Your perception of flavor is shaped by a whole bunch of factors. Genetics plays a huge role. Some people are super tasters, and they're way more sensitive to bitter foods. Age is another big one, since we naturally have fewer taste buds as we get older. But our experience of flavor is also influenced by our health, medications we're taking, lifestyle choices like smoking, and even our stress levels. It's incredibly personal.
So in the end, the crucial thing to remember is this. Taste isn't just some mechanical process. It's a deep conversation between our food and our bodies. This quote really captures it all. Your tongue doesn't just taste food. It communicates with your brain, your emotions, and your memories. Which is why, ultimately, taste isn't just science, it's experience.